On today's episode, we talk about the artist versus the businessman. I dip back into La La Land for a writer that's kind of impressing me, and we talk about how to build your confidence as a writer. Hey everybody, and welcome to Finish Friday, the shows that helps more creative people change more lives. I am your host, Todd B. from Tennessee, and I created this show because on a scale of 1 to pressing no when the Netflix button asks you if you want to continue watching, creating things is hard, and finishing those things is even harder. All right, so here's what's going on. Freaking Francis, I caught my finger on his hook, on his harness, went through my finger, and so I spent most of Friday in the urgent care trying to get this doctored up. Luckily, missed the bone, missed the nail. I need these things. These are my career. Other than that, not much to talk about into my life, so let's jump into today's topic. Today's topic, as you guys have seen, is called The Artist and the Businessman. Now, when I go through this, I'm gonna have to make sure to go super slow because this is a topic that I get really passionate about at times, and it's something that I really care about as far as this show goes, as far as people trying to become artists or writers or photographers or whatever you wanna do. Here's the thing. The business culture on the internet is insane. Like everywhere you look, you can't avoid the business articles, right? You can't avoid the 6 easy steps to find your way to success. You can't avoid the super morning rituals that made me $100 bazillion. But the problem is, a lot of times that culture conflicts with the culture of the artist. I've seen this a lot where, and you have too, I know, one of your favorite artists, one of your favorite bloggers, one of your favorite writers comes out and all of a sudden their blog is just a shade of what it used to be. Why? Because they're so busy trying to make money. They're so busy trying to sell this product or become an affiliate to XYZ to make a certain amount of dollars. And look, I want to be very clear on this. I got no problem with you making money. As a matter of fact, I want you to make money. I want you to make a lot of money as an artist. But the problem to me comes in where you try to pull these business principles into the creation of your art. No. That's not the way it's done. You guys, every morning, and I'll let you in on a little bit of my personal life here because every morning I sit downstairs and I write for 10 to 15 minutes with no monitor, no screen. I'll type on the keyboard, but I won't see any of the results. Why? Because I don't want my mind to get in the way of the creative process. Did you hear what I just said? I don't want my mind to get in the way of the creative process. You don't need your brain to create. When you're writing, like when you step up and you're like thinking, what should I write about today? Your second question should not be, what's the most popular thing to write about? People come to me all the time. Your blog gets a lot of traffic. What do you think about SEO? I got no idea. Why? Because I am obsessed with making great art. If you watch this show right now, I want to challenge you with something. The next time that you go to create, don't even think about how it might do when you release it into the wild. Don't even think about how many hits it might get, or likes, or retweets, or republishes. You guys, this show is about the art. This show is about the creative process. If you are right now trying to make a career and you're relying too heavily on business stuff as an artist, you lose, because you all know what that looks like. That's the thing to me, is that you know what this looks like. You know how ugly it is. You know how boring it gets whenever your best artists sell out. And so today I want to take the time to encourage you. You create art because you like to create art. I made the joke last week, right? I have 2+ years of doing this. I have one $5 book. That's my big sell. And the reason for that is because I don't want to interrupt the purity of what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to say with trying to make a few dollars. And so if you're in that place and it's taking too long for you to become an artist and you're not getting the attention that you want, I just want to encourage you, be patient. right? Serve the art. Get better, get better, get better, because that is how you make it in the world as an artist. And I can't promise it will happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day, but eventually you will be known by your art and not your business prowess. And with that, let's jump into this week's question of the week. This week's question of the week is sponsored by the Creative's Curse audiobook. Now, you guys are going to want to pick this thing up right away, because here's the thing, like, I never lower the prices of my book. I talk all about the money, and it's not about the money. I just don't believe in manipulations to sell things. So the people that buy my book first are always going to get the best price. And from there, it goes up. Always. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm going to release. It will be the lowest at the time of the release, and then it kind of goes up and up as time passes to where it's going to flatten out. So head over and pick that up right now. I'll link it down below, and let's get into today's question of the week. This week's question of the week comes from Tanya from Tennessee. Hey, terrific tea from Tennessee. That's what you say. That's amazing. Tanya, what's up? How's it going? Tanya asks, what quality advice do you have for building confidence for a new writer? Lack of confidence keeps me from consistent publishing on Medium. And she goes on to say, perhaps I am my own worst critic and preventing my own growth and confidence by not stepping in and allowing the public to read my work. Just a thought. Tanya, terrific tea from Tennessee. Thank you so much. Nice to meet a fellow Tennessean. And this is a great question, right? Because I think all artists, actually, I know all artists at some time or another struggle with the confidence issue. And for me, I can only speak from my experience, right? For me, it was simply a matter of starting and publishing that stuff. What I love about the internet is that everything is on record. So you guys can go back right now and look at my first 6 months on Medium and watch as no one liked any of my posts. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing to build confidence is you have to start no matter how you feel, and then have faith that you're going to continue to get better, right? This question just came in, but I wanted to add it to the show because it's the theme, right? You start and then you get better and better in your art. The best way to have confidence is to do stuff. And I know that sounds so trivial, but what I found in my experience is that nothing beats fear and doubt like action. And so if it's me, if I'm you right now, and again, last week we talked about starting small, I would go next week and I would publish a post. And then I would sit there on it and be like, whew, I did it. That's amazing. Yes, okay. And then the next week, I would publish another post. And then the next week, I would publish another post. Because what happens is then, if you can be consistent and build the self-discipline it takes to publish week after week, eventually you will feel confident because you're doing things. Like, you'll feel confident because you're getting things done. Now, when the critiques come in, if the critiques come in, then that's gonna happen. You'll have to deal with that then. But by then, I'm of the mind that, like, no one cares what you're doing on the internet for the most part. Like, no, right now, terrific tea from Tennessee, other than this show, no one knows who you are. And so you have the gift of obscurity for like 6 months or however long you want to publish before you try to get bigger, to do your work in silence, to build the confidence within yourself to publish week after week. And when you get that momentum, you will build the confidence and your writing gets better and the reactions get better and you deal with the negative feedback as it comes. I promise you, it isn't as scary as you might think. And with that, let's move into this week's Artist Spotlight. This week's Artist Spotlight goes firmly on someone who composed a lot of the music to a movie I talked about recently. That's right, I'm stepping back into La La Land to talk about Justin Hurwitz. Now, the guy is obviously a very good composer, but that's not what I want to talk about. If you look at Justin Hurwitz, and I'm looking at his Wikipedia page right now, before La La Land came Whiplash. Obviously, that was a big success too. But before that came a stint as a writer on The Simpsons and The League, both like television shows, right? So that's interesting to me because what happens is I think a lot of times as artists, we try to put ourselves in a box. We try to say, oh, I'm only a writer, so I can only write. I'm only a painter, so I can only paint. I only take photography on my iPhone 7, and I can't do it any other way. But my man right here is impressing me because I think most artists are multi-potentialites, meaning we can do a whole bunch of different things, we just don't. Society tells us that we need to specialize, right? We need to go all in on one thing. And school, from high school to college to master's degree to your PhD, is getting more and more and more and more and more narrow. And I believe the artist kind of does the reverse of that. We start off with something we like creatively, and then we expand and we expand and we expand and we expand and we expand. We get bigger and bigger in what we know, in what we can do. So I have to give a big shout out to Justin for serving the time, right? My man knew he wanted to create. If you are at the point where all you want to do is create art, right? All you want to do is make something new into the world, then it might not be exactly what you think it's going to look like. The guy wrote for The Simpsons and The League before he got to do what I assume is what he really wanted to do, which was music. But if you build yourself up creatively, I want to challenge you this week, actually. I haven't challenged people on this show, but it's something I did on Monday Motivation. I want to bring it into here right now. But look outside what you think you're best at. If you're a musician, try to write some fiction. If you're a fiction writer, try and write poetry or take photographs or paint or play in the dirt. I don't know. But if you're an artist, I want to challenge you to expand your horizons a little bit and grow in what you can do so that you can become a full picture of the artist and not just the microscope that you see yourself under right now. Good show. Oh, one more segment. I forgot I'm adding a segment today called Ask the Audience. You guys, I need these comments. I love them coming in, but I want to know more about you ultimately, and that's what this is here for, so I can get to know you better and you can get to know me better. Today's Ask the Audience. How did you get here? How did you find me? Leave a comment below and I'll try to do my best and jump in there and answer some. My time with notifications and comments is kind of thin, but I'll do my best to respond to everyone who comes in because I'm really curious how you guys get here. We're over 400 subscribers now, which is insane considering that 4 months ago we had this many. So I want to know where you came from. Much love as always. I'm Todd B from Tennessee, and I will talk with you soon.